without this. Nothing. We're just savages. Because we don't know the difference between right and wrong. But we need somebody, just as if this was a book of astrophysics, we need somebody to explain to us, what does it mean? What do these things mean in the book? That's called a teacher. Everybody needs a teacher. This man, he's a teacher. How would those kids learn French if you didn't teach them? How would they? You have to teach them. You give them a book, could they learn from the book? Could they? No. He's a professor of French language. But he knows that there are many textbooks, lots of textbooks, but it has to be taught. You all can understand that, can't you? So if the Rasul was so concerned, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about each and every one of us, wouldn't he provide us with teacher? And that teacher's going to die too, because he's a human. So he's got to train somebody else up to be a teacher. And on and on and on and on and on and on. That's the way it is. So this has to be, these things have to come together. Nubuwah, there has to be the revelation. Without the revelation, there's nothing. And there has to be wilayah, the one who teaches us, explains us, is concerned for us, cares for us, loves us, so on and so forth, enough to lift us up with knowledge, to raise us up with understanding, so that we understand this thing, so we're not going to spend the rest of our lives going to Taraweeh prayers, not knowing anything. My sheikh, he used to read whatever he was going to read that night, and he read it differently because he called it Salatul Qiyam, and he said Taraweeh is not, this is the Sunnah of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. For a reason he made that. But he did have those prayers every night and like that and so on. So he said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to read tonight. Every night we go to the Zawiyah and then we're going to pray 8 rakat and 2 and 1. He said, I'll explain. He explains, in this rakat I'm going to read this and this and this and this. And he'd explain to us what he's going to read, because we were foreign students. You know, all of us, his students, were foreign students. We didn't know. There were people from Indonesia, there were people from Africa and Central Asia and so on. All these different people, we were all his students. But he explained to us what I'm going to do tonight. This is what I'm going to do. So every night when we stood there like that to pray behind him, we knew kind of what he was, and we could go home afterwards and look it up. That's a big difference. Imagine if that happened in the masajid. It's a different way of looking at things, right or wrong. You think that your Taraweeh would be more useful if you understood what it was about? Or do you think it's about standing there for an hour and 15 minutes and toughing it out, sucking it up? Your legs are like, you know, when I'm my age, you know, your legs get like this, you know. So that's the other thing. And then the next talk that I want to give, inshallah, is about this subject. Nubuwah, wilayah, marifat, hakikat, and marifat. To explain these things so that you really understand. It's a very, very big understanding. Once you understand there are teachers, and I'm not telling you any teacher, there are teachers. Some of the sects say there's only one teacher. Ultimately, that's true. There's only one teacher. You know, the qutb or whatever, the imam of the time, yes, okay, imam az-zaman and so on and so forth. But there are teachers. You as Muslims are wasting your time if you don't have a teacher. If you don't have somebody to explain to you what is Islam, what is the Quran, who is the Prophet, and take time with you, not just words and blah blah, but really find out what's going on inside of you and what you need to know, what you need to understand, and takes the time to teach you. Everybody needs a teacher. You gotta have one. And you are wasting your time. This is why it says, who dies without knowing the imam of his time dies in ignorance, jahl. If you don't know the teacher of the time, you are going to die ignorant. You may still go to the Jannah, but you are ignorant. So whatever you do, whatever your job is, whatever your profession is, whether you're a housewife, whether you're a worker, whatever you are, stop what you're doing long enough to find somebody that can teach you. It's of vital importance. Not teach you astrophysics, not teach you French, not teach you welding, or not teach you that. Teach you about the deen. You know, in the Quran, Surat Fat, in Surat Fat 48. In Surat Fat, Allah makes two promises. He says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد صدق الله رسوله رؤيا بالحق لتدخلون المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين مهلكين رؤوسكم مقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا. The meaning of this ayah, to the best of my ability and understanding, is that, and so it is that Allah fulfilled the vision of his messenger in truth. He's talking to the Prophet. You will indeed enter Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, inshallah. You will indeed enter it, inshallah, because Allah always inshallah. Aminina, secure or at peace. Muhalikina, with your head shaved. Ru'usakum muqassirina la takhafun, and your hair cut and without any fear. For he has always known what you yourself could not know, and has given you besides this an victory or opening. Okay? This is a promise that Allah made to his Prophet. And indeed, indeed, he got to go to Mecca, right? Okay, now listen to the next promise he made. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. It is he, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who sent his messenger with guidance, huda, wa deen al-haq, and the religion of truth. He doesn't say deen al-Islam. He says deen al-haq, the religion of truth. Then he says, what about this religion of truth? لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. It will overcome every religion. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. And Allah suffices as witness to the truth. So far, there's 7 billion of us in the world. Roughly. I mean, there's 1.7, excuse me, I wish there were 7 billion. There's 1.7 billion of us in the world of 7 billion people. So this promise has not yet been fulfilled. Because he says here, he sent his messenger, okay, that was fulfilled. With guidance, yes, that's true, and the religion of truth, and he will cause it to shine forth, or to show forth, or to overcome over all religions. That's not happened. That's a promise of Allah that's not yet happened, right? First one has happened. Prophet went to Mecca, right? Shaved his head, cut his hair, went there peacefully, no problems, so on and so forth like that. All of that was fulfilled. That promise was fulfilled. This promise has not been fulfilled. That's what we're working at. Deen al-Haq, religion of truth. Truth, Truth. Not the religion of Islam, the religion of submission. That's the first step. Now we have to find out the truth. Because there's an old saying, and what is that? It's the truth that will set you free. That's all I got to say. Inshallah. I know I kind of went off the point, but I didn't go off the point at all. Not really. You know, I told you really what's in my heart and on my mind. To you people who are sitting here, thank you for listening and being, receptive, not like the ducks that the water rolled off their backs. And those of you who listen to it by the web, I pray deeply and sincerely from my heart that this has been of use to you and benefit to you, and that you will look upon Shems and Rumi in a different way, and also that you will look upon the dispensation that arose from the Fatimid dispensation or transmission of the truth. Understand that nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody. Except to the degree that they purified their hearts. So if you're listening to this and you hear me and it's reached you at all, please don't waste time. Life is short. I can tell you that because I'm old. And death is coming, inevitably. And if you don't find the Imam, you're going to die in ignorance. So don't let yourself suffer that fate. Die knowing the truth. Because if you die now, you will live forever. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay.